Todd absolutely loves her leadership and absolutely needs her on the floor.
So Greg Todd ties to Lexington. He was a coach here at Lexington Catholic High School. It's his 5th season as Morehead State's coach. Here you see 10 games over 500. And Matthew Mitchell ties to Morehead. He was once the Morehead State head coach, now in his 12th season at Kentucky. Almost a 70% win clip there, 263 victories. And 7-0 on the season. So here's how they'll line them up today. It's Seward, Crockett, Simmons, Kozar, Avery, and Calvert, and it's McKinney, Morris, Howard, Wyatt, and Murray for Kentucky. Now, both of these teams really stress defense, Christy, so it should be interesting to see which one comes through on the offensive end.
And they both like scoring in transition. They don't necessarily want to get in a half-court set. They want to be able to score in transition, and when you can put the ball on the floor just like that and get going early, that's huge for this Kentucky team, because that's something we've seen from them in the first couple of games of the season, is that they have really struggled to just get something, anything going on the offensive end.
They have really struggled, as you said, especially in the first quarter. Then they seem to just wake up for whatever reason, but they're going to have to do that early against these Eagles, who average 94.7 points a game. So they like to get up and down the floor, which kind of plays right into the hands of the Kentucky team as well.
Sure, this Morehead team likes to press. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to do that against Kentucky and what they will do, knowing that they're a little overmatched.
Well, size advantage, and we've seen it in the first two plays offensively.
Yep, size advantage, and certainly you know, a little better athletes when you're playing at the SEC level here. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do.
Murray with the steal. She's going to go 2-on-1. Pulls up, jumper, no good. Bad shot. Quickly down court, here comes the Eagles. Not a great three-point shooting team, but a very good two-point shooting team. 58% from the field is Morehead on the season. Kentucky extends that defense all the way out to midcourt. Nice drive there. Cannot get the roll is Mackenzie Calvert. So back we go for Kentucky. You know, last year it was as Maci went, so did the Wildcats.
Sure.
That's not the case this year.
Not the case this year, and that's okay.
That's the reason.
Exactly right. Maci Morris is a scorer. There's no doubt about that, but to not have that kind of pressure on her is a huge thing for this team. When you've got players like Brian Howard and Taylor Murray who can step up and score, we've seen very balanced scoring from this Kentucky team.
And that is really going to help once they get into SEC play. Nice three-pointer there, drained by Seward. As defenses cannot just key on Maci Morris anymore. Taylor Murray, a great Paradise Jam. This is Morris with the basketball now. This is the freshman Howard. Great handle, and that's a bad pass. A steal, and a layup coming up and in for Crockett as she puts it away.
Well, as great as we've seen Ryan Howard be, we've still seen her be a freshman. And that's exactly...
Sometimes she's a little lazy.
Sure. And just really, you know what, I'm not sure I'd even call it lazy, as I just would call it a little too laid back.
Yeah.
Sure, just maybe a little laid back. And that's why
she says, I'll make up for it.
Well, sure, and she just makes that look so easy. We've seen her just step up and shoot the three with such ease. I've said before, that shot is so silky smooth. Makes her so dangerous in that way.
Christy, I would say I would never, ever compare someone to this person, but she reminds me on the floor of a Magic Johnson.
All right.
Because she can take the ball off the rim. She can go, coast to coast with it. She can play in the post. She can step outside and shoot the three. And just her body language on the court. She sees the court really well.
Very poised and very mature. So here you take a look at it. As she's surveying what's going on, she gets that screen. She reads the defense. That's the key there. Reads the defense and sees that she's given her a step. She has such a quick release that she can get that three-pointer off. So I think what we're looking for from her to really, you think, my goodness, what more can she do? She's the MVP of the Paradise Jam. That just shows you what kind of potential the kid has. That if we start to see a sense of urgency, just like that, being in the right place at the right time, really stepping up her defense.
So Taylor Murray has missed two really wide open shots. Very uncharacteristic of her, but then she comes right back with a steal.
She does.
Takes it right away.
Yeah.
Blair Green off the bench is in there, and so is instant offense for Coach Todd, and that was Aaliyah June, who wears 0. Second leading scorer, averages over 20 points a game, but comes off the bench. So he has some firepower. And what he's done, Christy, as he's got 7 transfers on this squad now.
Yeah, you know, in a lot of those situations, you could really struggle to bring a team together and have good team chemistry, but he doesn't have a problem with that. And it's something about Coach Todd. He's really a player's coach and has really done such an amazing job of. He rarely gets uptight. He rarely yells. What you see right there is kind of what you get. Pretty well all the time from him, but here's a look at your
and
transfers.
all over.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
not just like he's gone around this
Sure.
area. I mean, you've gone to St. John's in New York, you've gone to Nebraska, Rutgers in New Jersey, Wabash Valley, Southwest Tennessee, Texas Tech. So he's gone all over to recruit some kids into this program. And he says, you know what? I'm still trying to mesh these guys. He's trying to learn strengths and weaknesses of these guys.
Well, it takes some time. I mean, you're bringing in lots of different players, lots of different athletes. Nice job by Blair Green. This is another freshman that's had some big minutes for Kentucky.
June with the pass goes cross court and a little too high. Out of bounds it goes. Also in the game is Jackson for Morehead. Bruna Jackson. Now Johnson comes into the game as well. Ellie Joe.
Keep your eye on 0 for Morehead State. Yeah. June, she's quite the scorer coming in off the bench. But she's got some good size out there in that 3 position at 6'1".
Morris is open. Let's fly a deep 3, and that's just hard, but nice rebound picked up by Jada Roper, who's in the game, who's given him some nice offense this year as well.
She was sensational in the Virgin Islands as well, too. So I've mentioned it before about her, that if there's a player you could pinpoint as one of the most improved on this Kentucky team, it easily can go to Jada Roper, because she has just put in an enormous amount of time and effort and work. She's been in the gym. She's done what's asked of her and continued to have an amazing attitude about it.
Always has that smile.
Always smiling. You'll see some of that. We're going to show you a little bit about her personality a little bit later in our broadcast, but just love the energy that she brings when she gets out on the court.
Roper slides down the lane, up and under, and can't get the roll off the rim. But Blair is there to pick it up, and with the left hand, she can't get it to fall. A third offensive trip, and Murray gets that one in and one.
Well, you got to love how Kentucky is working hard on that offensive glass, but maybe don't necessarily have their legs under them just yet after 3 games in 3 days, winning that Paradise Jam. Cats in control. Awesome meal. They ate well. We're able to spend Thanksgiving together, but you see the results there. Just a great trip for them. Good stuff. That's fun, right?
They win over number 17 in the first game. They go to overtime with UCLA and come back from, I think, a dozen down against North
13.
Carolina.
Yeah, well, listen, I tell you what, it really was impressive, and it's not easy to play 3 games in 3 days. I mean, that's tough. You're never in that situation unless you're in your conference tournament. So, really, you get banged up and you're tired, and when you are trying to have some fun and do other things, it can be really difficult.
Call on Blair Green there with a grab. Second team foul. Both teams have 2 fouls. But Kentucky off to a very hot start shooting. 7 of 12, that's 58%, and that's the one thing that they've had problems with during the season.
Yeah, getting out of the gate on offense, they have struggled. So to see them get going has to be reassuring.
A nice play by Green there, not to force anything. She got into the paint but didn't have it, so she kicks it back out. That's an open 3. That's her shot. Too hard for Roper. Green tips it out, but Pascal is already taken off down court for defense. Another steal by the Wildcats. They've done very well. Throw that one away. Nope. 6 turnovers for the Eagles already.
Oh, that header. Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you something. As a post player, as a former post player, there's nothing more frustrating on the planet than being in position and ready to receive the ball and your teammate not giving it to you. Jada Roper had her, and that's part of what a perimeter player will do, is wait far too long to get the ball in. You look, and it's gone.
And then try to either A, force it in, or you get a 3-second call.
Exactly, and Kiki McKinney was right there, ready to go, player on her backside.
A little sloppy play right here by the Cats. Bad pass there by Simmons-Kozar. Crystal's from Spain. She threw that one a little high and out of bounds, so an unforced error, but a turnover. Their 7th of the game. Kentucky also 5 steals, 3 for Morehead. Morehead coming into this game has been crazy with stealing. They turn you over. They're very good defensive basketball.
Their style is very reminiscent of Kentucky's here, where they're looking at trying to get you out in a full court game, want to score in transition, forcing turnovers.
Boy, they're really off offensively. I mean, they averaged 23 points.
Well, what a great take. That just goes to show you how strong she really is.
Yep.
Really, that was not exactly a fully... She was a little off balance on that shot, right? But she was able to kind of double clutch and still get it to go.
Blair Green shuffled her feet as she received the pass and was called for traveling. Yeah, but Morehead averaging almost 23 points a quarter. And they have 7 with just under 3 minutes to play here. Deep 3. Good. Nice defense out front by Morris. Nice to pull away there. She holds on. She's going to get a foul. Crockett is their scorer as well. Crockett averaging 21 a game, and she is fouled. They're going to call that one on Howard.
Well, Crockett really just a great athlete. She's able to get to the rim. Puts the ball on the floor so well.
Crockett, one of the few here that did not transfer in.
Yep. She can see that defender out of the corner of her eye.
What do you do there? Do you spin out, or you just catch it, turn, and run into her?
Well, that's almost one of those where you almost go to a jump stop and find a teammate to get it to, but you want to get going in transition. You want to get something going to the basket quickly. But in that situation, you just receive the ball and then drop and then just jump stop.
So they're going to call this on Jaleesa Avery, who was on the floor.
That's a good look.
She was doing. She's on the floor.
Oh yeah, kind of stuck a hand out.
Yeah.
Here you see
Morehead,
yep, going with a little press here.
And it works. Blair Green lost that one right off her hand, and an easy layup up and in for Simmons-Kozar.
And that's why they want to be in transition, right? They've got great athletes. They've got speed.
And like you said last week in the game, you have to score to be able to put the press on.
Well, and that's just a lazy pass by Blair Green, really. I mean, that was just, didn't have anything on it, even if the pass did get to her teammate.
But then they scored, and then they pressed full court instead of that 3-quarter. Now coming on this here, a little 3-quarter press again.
Well, that's the big thing, right? They've only got 9 points. You have to make shots to get into your full court press and be able to try to set up and get yourself into a good spot.
Matthew asked a question, and now the officials are talking about what happened on the floor. It was a backcourt foul, so Kentucky gets it out right in front of their bench. There's that 1-2-2 press yet again. And Jada just beats the trap by just outrunning it down the court. Is this a zone here, or what do we got? Boxing one? No, man. Get a hold on the backside. That's quickly 2 quick fouls on Jaleesa Avery, the 6'1" junior from Western Michigan. So Kentucky now will shoot for the final minute, 42 seconds. Remember, you get 5 fouls in a quarter. And after the 5th, it's shooting.
I've already seen so many situations, too, this year where I've said if the men would just adopt some of what the women's game has done in terms of their changes, I think they would that fans would be pleasantly surprised with what they see. One of them is, as you get to the end of the game, calling that timeout and being able to get the ball.
Oh, to advance the ball?
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Happens in the NBA.
Sure.
Everywhere except men's college basketball. Boy, that's a nice
shot.
three there by Stewart. That's her second three. Over 6. And now all of a sudden that 7 has become 12. Tough shot inside, but forcing it and getting the foul, and that's going to be a foul on Simmons-Kozar.
Well, it's a good take. Kentucky getting the ball to the middle of the floor as you're trying to break the press. That's exactly what you want. So there you get a cutting Jada Roper who's just trying to make something happen, being aggressive, getting to the line. Want to beat that press. Got to get the ball to the middle.
Roper, a very good free throw shooter. She puts both of those in 78% on the season. Another deep three. Boy, you can tell that's why she scores 21. She is not shy of any shot,
no,
is
she's
she?
not.
I mean, Leah barely got that in her hands, and it was off. Deep three. Inside a minute now. Kentucky has a 10-point lead, and they're going to milk this for the final 15 seconds of the shot clock. Murray slides over the top, kicks it over to Morris. Has been hot early, and she continues it with that jump shot. Give her 6 points. Her and Howard have 14 of the Cats' 24.
You're going to love a shooter that can take that mid-range jumper.
10-second difference in the shot clock and game
Nice
shot
take.
doesn't stop Simmons-Kozar. Right to the rack. So now the shot clock's off. And Roper will stop from 15 and knock it down.
Ball to the middle. That's a problem for Morehead just with their rotations and transitions in their defense.
Oh, you can't pick up your dribble there, can you?
Well, I can't let a ball. Are you kidding? There's 2 defenders around a Morehead State player, and somehow the ball gets into the middle.
So the Cats start off on fire, shooting 62% and lead by 12. If you will, Greg Todd, the coach at Lexington Catholic High School. But for Matthew Mitchell, it goes even deeper than that. There's his record here at Kentucky, but Christie was Morehead's coach for 3 seasons.
Yeah, he actually got his start, cut his teeth, if you will, at Morehead. That was his first head coaching job, and he'll tell you he's forever grateful to all the folks at Morehead and the athletic department there that gave him a shot and gave him his start as a head coach in the business. Nothing but great things to say about he and his wife Jenna had a great time at Morehead and enjoyed living there and continued to support them and have great ties to that community. So, and look at that little sun-kissed look, right? From the Virgin Islands.
Some nice sun.
Yeah. I didn't get that, by the way.
Well with
I
that.
was not in the Virgin Islands. I got to figure out how to get on that trip. Who do I know? I got to know somebody, right?
Aaron right there. He got a little sun, too. Sitting to your right.
Yeah, the voice of the UK women's basketball team, Darren Hedrick. I told him I enjoyed listening to him while they were over there, so I could hear all 3 games. 3 exciting games for Kentucky, coming back 7-0.
Miranda Crockett, 82%. She has been to the free throw line already 34 times this season. It's 1 of 2. She pushes the ball, goes to the hoop a lot. Great shooter, just a scorer. He's been pass inside to Morris, but oh, beautiful block on the interior. Being able to get that to flow was Tat Bryant, who's been slowed by an injury, but she was in there and missed that little short jump shot.
Well, and we had been told that Tiara McGowan was not going to play in this game, but she is checked in. Yeah, still kind of recovering from an ankle injury, 22. You see her right there. She is the leading rebounder for Morehead. Not to be confused with Tiara McGowan from Mississippi State. Spelled different, a little bit differently, but she stands in at 6'3", so.
Yeah, and told she was not going to play, so I didn't even have her on my shot sheet.
Yep, she's
add her to that. Maci Morris, step back three, good.
Beautiful shot by Maci Morris.
But I tell you what, Simmons Kozar, Crystal's not afraid to go to the basket. It's too straight. Trips down the floor that she has made a mad dash to the rim and knocked away both times. Nice spin move by Seward, but under the basket, misses there badly. Boy, Murray splits defenders, 4 of them flying down court. All wide open three, in and out. Well, you're not going to get more wide open than that for Maci. Her first miss of the day. Out there. Crockett gets the turnaround, the fall.
Crockett just so active. She's all over the floor on both ends. Just gets after it.
63% from the field. Very good shooter. Maci working it all the way up and under, and she's going to get 2 shots. I think they're going to call this. Call this on McGowan. Yep, came right across the forearms.
She said, "What, me?" I was like, "Me." When anytime I got called for a foul, that was always the look on my face. Like, wait, what? Couldn't possibly. She's trying to get back into game shape, though. So she's battled an ankle injury last year, fractured that ankle, then sprained again. So really trying to get back into game shape. You could kind of, she was noticeably limping out on the floor, so still dealing with that injury.
That missed free throw was only her 4th missed free throw of the season. Blair Green pulls down the rebound, leads the charge for the Cats, but the Eagles back on defense, so Maci Morris pulls it out. So the Cats shooting 55% from the field. Enjoying a 13-point lead. Howard had a thought from jacking it from out there. 10 on the shot clock.
Oh, goodness.
Call that on Howard?
They did. Mackenzie Calvert just doing a job on her there, just trying to stay aggressive on the defensive end, but watching her make that pass, she's trying to make that cut. Some theatrics. It's all right. Listen, whatever works, right? I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and if you get the benefit of the doubt and get the call, good on you.
Boy, hands everywhere for these Wildcats. They tip almost every pass. Pascal fouled again by Crystal Simmons Kozar. It's going to be her 2nd foul. So Avery's got 3, and Simmons Kozar now with 2.
Watch him get into that double team, then real active hands up, trying to go to the middle. Great rotation. Taylor Murray standing in front. Amanda Pascal exactly where she needs to be. So as we're all tipping the ball, goes in your favor.
So they sub, but they're going to keep Kozar in there with 2 fouls. She's got a tough task because she's guarding Maci Morris. Boy, poke 3, but right back to the Wildcats. Maci gets open from 18, and she knocks it down.
All right, we've seen that 2 straight trips out of Maci. That she reads the defense, going to get her defender going under the screen. Oh, goodness.
Ooh, how about that? Maci just kind of smiles. Here comes Morris in the replay.
Playing the passing lane.
Wow.
She got all ball, I think. I think that was a good no call there. Sometimes when you block a shot with that kind of authority,
so she'll just step back here.
It could almost throw your arm out of socket, but that's one way to answer, isn't it?
So Kentucky on a 6-0 run over the last 90 seconds. They're going to get Tat Wyatt there for a foul on the follow-through. So Seward will go to the free throw line.
14, Tatiana Wyatt for second, and the team fourth. Seward at the line for two.
And Matthew Mitchell says, why? All you do is stand there, turn around, and get the rebound. We're going the other way. Always teaching, even though you're up 18.
Have to.
Yeah.
Yep. The competition gets tougher.
And now this is what I like. He follows him to the bench, and he'll walk down there, and he'll just talk to him a little bit. Not yelling and screaming, but why'd you do that? All you got to do is this. Set your feet. She missed the shot. Turn around and go back the other way. So Crockett in the game for Seward. Wow, how about Kiki bringing it up?
Look at that. Versatility.
Yeah, splits defenders, breaks the press herself. Pascal up and under with the big, strong lefty, but you can't get that one to go. No foul called and out of bounds. Over to Morehead.
Had disaster written all over it. I could see it from here.
She had to throw that over the defense and try to drop it into a 5'8" player, and you just can't do that across the lane.
Yeah, that had disaster written all over it from my angle.
Another kind of lazy pass. Oh, nice play there by Pascal, but Kiki McKinney just kind of drops it off, and Calvert was right there to almost get the steal. Kentucky's forced 11 turnovers, and they have 7 turnovers themselves.
Oh, nice.
Nice play by Roper with the double move inside.
Hey. Getting June off her feet twice. Again, that goes to show you exactly what I'm talking about with her development and her improvement. 2 years ago, Jada Roper would have tried to take that one up immediately, would have gotten that shot block going the other way for 2. That just goes to show you how she's really developed her game and starting to get a great understanding, becoming a smarter player.
A nice pass by Pascal to the corner, and Murray knocks it down.
Murray finding her stride now. She missed her first couple of shots. Sea legs.
Yep.
Just had to get her legs back under her a little bit.
Missed a free throw, something she doesn't do a lot either. A nice move at the top of the lane, and she got an easy look at Crockett, but missed it. Blair Green a step slow on defense.
And some of those misses like that do indicate you're tired, and Morehead doesn't play a ton of people. They're only going to play about 7, 6 very regularly, so when you aren't playing a lot of people, you're going to get tired, especially going against this press.
So you want to learn a little bit more about Maci Morris when we come back. Jada Roper gives 4 for 4.
She's a college student, 4 for 4. Jada Roper with a ton of personality. You saw there the Twitter handle for women's basketball. That's where you'll see Jada Roper putting all of her teammates on that 30 seconds, getting to know them pretty quickly.
I know your family is from around this area. So did you cook a turkey this year? Did you cook it?
Did not. I am not so much of a chef, so we'll...
You put it in a pan, you put it in the oven, you turn it on.
Do you?
How hard is that?
Did you cook one?
Every once in a while you baste it.
Did you cook one?
Yes, I've cooked them a million
Did you cook one this year?
I cooked
Jeff
ham
Pecoro,
this year, not
tell
turkey.
the people the truth.
I did ham this year, not turkey.
Whatever.
But turkey's easy.
Right? I don't know.
But we're going to see a little later in the
we'll
game
how
Maci Morris might cook a turkey. You're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
like
see
that
how
one, too.
easy.
And you get all that at the Twitter spot, right?
That's right, yeah. So lots of stuff happening on Twitter, and I have to love. I said, listen, my job hosting the Matthew Mitchell show may be in jeopardy with somebody like Jada Roper running around here with Tons of personality. She loves the camera loves her, so she's having some fun on UK's. So follow them on Twitter. They're one of the most followed women's basketball programs.
So there was no, Matthew or his wife didn't cook turkey either because they were in the Virgin Islands?
Yeah, they were in the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
That's right.
Interesting. You've been there a lot for cooking.
Oh, yes. Matthew Mitchell. Yes, he and his wife have a cooking segment on their show, and it's pure comedy. Listen, this year, I'm going to tell you what. Follow it this year. Watch the show this year. You're going to see them make Italian dishes. We've talked about that great trip to Italy that they took with the team and got to play over the summer, and it was a great trip for them. And so all of the dishes that they're cooking are going to be based on what they ate while they were over there in Italy on that trip. A lot of
nice
fun.
Left hand by Blair Green there. Does he still do the guitar?
He does not. He's retired that. So yeah. I think he learned about all he can learn. Open E was his favorite chord, so he learned about all he can learn.
Oh, what?
Guitar.
Opening E?
Open E.
Oh.
You just strum. Yeah, you just strum.
He can sing now.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen that at Midnight Madness every year he's been here.
Yes.
And dance.
Yes.
Much to the chagrin of his wife, I might add. Although,
and himself, I'll be honest with you.
She dances quite a bit, too.
Well, he has said, he didn't expect it to take off like that. And,
what was his best one? Bruno Mars? Michael Jackson?
Well, I don't know. Listen, I got to be honest. I think probably the first one when he whipped out the Dougie and no one was really expecting that. You know, it kind of came from out of nowhere, and that's when all the hype started. I think probably that one.
What do you think Calipari did when he's out there doing the Dougie and all that?
You know, I think he probably thought it was a stroke of genius because here's a guy that's trying to really rally a lot of interest in his program and trying to sell tickets and get people there. And as charismatic as Matthew is, it was probably, he thought it was a stroke of marketing genius. I'm sure Cal gets it, right?
I would have loved to see Adolph Rupp do a jig or something.
Cal understands that. He's a marketing machine. He knows that.
Matthew is something else. So Kentucky calls a timeout, a little 30-second timeout here with 2:47 to go. Kentucky up comfortably, 42-21.
Opens things up for you. I mean, she's a player that really struggled to get a lot of open looks, and that was just because, you know, defenses were going to key in on her and make that difficult for her.
Christy, I think the addition of Ryan Howard was great, but this young lady right here, Taylor Murray, has been phenomenal this year. She's played 215 minutes coming into this game. She plays literally almost the entire game every single night out, and she's up there scoring. She's dropped down her turnovers. She's got better shooter, everything.
She's a player that we have seen have big games and have big moments, but not necessarily do it with a ton of consistency. And that's what we're seeing in her senior season, is her being incredibly consistent. In that North Carolina game, this team is down 13, and she almost single-handedly put this team on her back in that second half and said, let's go and get after it. And she was absolutely doing it all. So when you've got that scenario working for you, then a player like Ryan Howard who's just clicking on all cylinders, then good things were happening for Kentucky. As a result, you come back 7-0 and you crack into the AP top 25.
So a nice little teardrop right there by June. Murray today has 7 points and 3 assists. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. This is the other freshman they brought in this year, Blair Green. Number 5, who's gone down low. Morris pulls it back out, 10 on the shot clock. Got to know what's going on time-wise for Maci. Beat down the floor on a 2-on-1, and that ball rolls out.
Oh, she wants a 3.
Step back three's no good. And that's Tiara McGowan inside.
Well, that last offensive trip for Kentucky, just too much dribbling.
Yeah.
Got him into trouble here, and then they get going the other way. June looked down for the line, said, 2's not good. Let's go with 3. But this is where we talked about McGowan being the leading rebounder for this team. We see her in there getting on the offensive glass, and perhaps seeing that ankle injury come into play here where she didn't get any elevation to be able to get back up with the ball to put it back in.
Christy, this is a team that usually, as we said, scores 94 points a game. but they are just 2 of 12 this quarter from the field. That's 16% for the game, 8 of 28, so 28% shooting from the field for Morehead.
Well, and that's definitely something that Greg Todd will talk about in the locker room at halftime, is that when you are in a half-court set, you've got to get smart shots, you've got to be deliberate, you've got to have great execution, and then get yourself a high percentage shot, which they're not getting. But this is not a team that historically has been good in the half-court set.
Morris slides around the elbow, little curl, and knocks it down. She has 19 now. His biggest lead now, 23 points. And I think Simmons-Kozar may have twisted her ankle as she went down. She like rolled her ankle, and watch as she goes down right in here. Yep, you see how her ankle, left ankle just kind of gave way. She's going to be able to jog off. She says, I'm good to go. You saw 2 thumbs up. Calvert gives it off to Seward. Nice take by Maci Morris. Another steal for the Cats. Give them 9 steals now in the first half.
Great take. Oh, thought she should have gone up with that one. But why not? Take it out to Maci Morris for 3.
22 points for Morris. She is 1 behind Morehead. It's Morehead 23, Maci Morris 22 here in the first half.
Remarkable. What a first half for Maci Morris. My goodness.
9 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And another takeaway. Pascal gets it. 2-on-2 break, and she tries to force it inside, and Murray's going to pull it out with 12 seconds left. Says, calm down. This is something Morehead has to do. Just relax a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. You can tell they've just made some really silly passes, making some silly mistakes.
Long 3. Oh, my goodness gracious. Maci Morris, what a half. 25 points.
Get to the hole, get to the rim. 10 of 14, 4 of 6, 25 points. Kentucky's shooting better than 60% in this half, so what a great first half for the senior.
There you see the numbers as well. 14 points lead, or 14 turnovers lead to 24 Kentucky points.
Yeah, that's been Kentucky's signature, is scoring points off turnovers. And much like Kentucky, Morehead wants to get out and score in transition. They were not able to do that. And when they get into a half-court set and have to try to figure out how to score in the half-court, they haven't been able to do things as efficiently as that right there. That is half-court execution to perfection, which clearly is something that Greg Todd would have been talking to him about focusing on in the locker room at halftime.
You and I talked about this during the break there. To me, it's just like, just calm down if you're more. It's like they're a little too excited offensively, trying to force things instead of just taking what's given to them by the defense. Kiki McKinney down on the baseline.
Well, there you see Kentucky's going to make it difficult again for Morehead to be able to get anything going in transition. Really want to be disruptive.
So skipping up the court is Crystal Simmons-Kozar. Kiki McKinney on her.
So much
lost
dribbling.
That ball right off her leg.
So much dribbling. My goodness.
She had that ball for 15 seconds.
Yeah, you're 20 seconds into the shot clock before you ever get anything going.
Maci, a nice pass by McKinney. She never really got control of the basketball, but was able to throw it up with one hand and get fouled. So she'll go to the free throw line.
I like where their head's at with that, though. McKinney recognizing a great backdoor cut. You see Maci with 25 points, the rest of the team with 27, and Morehead with a total of 25 points right now.
That foul was on Simmons-Kozar, so that's her third. Maci, an 88% free throw shooter, very adept. And she ties the rest of her teammates with 27 points.
A career high for her is 35. She's well on her way to exceeding that today.
Well, almost another bad pass there by June out front, but Seward's able to grab that one out of the air. Shot clock again, slowly calming down. They haven't got inside the three-point line yet. Here's June again. She'll fire a three. Boy, she knocks it down. She is not afraid to shoot. She, coming into the game, was 39% from three and 16 for 41, and she's 53% from the field in shooting. And Howard takes a hard shot to the face and goes down.
Her third and 2 seconds. Ryan Howard at the line for 2.
That was got whack. Aaliyah June follows through. Belts her right on top of the forehead. So Howard knocks down the free throw. She now has 9 points. It's been quiet since that first quarter.
Picked up 2 fouls, had to sit for a good portion of the first half.
She's a perfect 3 for 3 from the field and 2 of 2 from the free throw line now for her 10 points. A couple of three-pointers as well. 4 rebounds, so another nice effort for her.
Well, that's a good take there by Avery. She just let Tatiana Wyatt affect her shot. She had an easy bucket right there.
Inside to Crockett, and Crockett over Green puts it in. Again, Crockett, a very good scorer at 21 a game. She leads the Eagles. And for Crockett, just her 7th point of the game. Maci drives, forces a shot. And boy, when you're hot, they just roll in, don't they?
She knew it. She had Blair Green posted up there. She said, I'm gonna take it. Gonna get going to the rim. That's where you've seen her game evolve, is how she can score in so many different ways.
Call a block there on Morris as she went a little chest to chest. Trying to keep her out of the lane. Too much contact, says the official. Don Marsh with the call. Tough shot there by Stewart. Ball's on the floor, picked up by Wyatt. Here come the Cats. The Eagles are back, so Taylor Murray slows it down and pitches it up to Howard. Mackenzie Calvert tried to get the call, but nope, he said she touched it last. So Morris goes out, Jada Roper comes in. Also into the game now, Tiara McGowan, and that's the young lady we didn't think we would see. She's still nursing that ankle injury.
And visibly limping. You know, as I've seen her and watched her gait as she's run up and down the court, she is visibly limping. Not really known to give Morehead much on the offensive end, but had 20 rebounds in more than one game.
Yeah, you know, I was watching Louisville and Michigan State the other night and last night, and one of the players for Michigan State did not take a shot until overtime and had 16 rebounds in the game. I mean, that's Dennis Rodman. Didn't take a shot and had 16 rebounds.
That's when you know how valuable you are to your team. If they got to have you on the floor, you're not even looking to shoot.
Boy, that was... Roper was almost going to turn that ball over and step through without her pivot foot. So had she not been fouled, she could have been called for a walkout, too. But think about that for a minute. She had 20 rebounds in a game. I think what the problem is here is the ankle probably doesn't hurt, but, you know, it's an injury.
Well, and you got to get back into game shape.
Right.
Yeah, that was just tough.
Yeah. And she's got a great physical body where she can just get rebounds by being under the basket. And she throws it right through the hands of Mackenzie Calvert. Calvert should have caught that. She just took her eye off and went right through her hands out of bounds. So another unforced error and 17 turnovers now for the Eagles.
Morehead just has not been able to get into a flow of anything on either end of the floor, really even on the defensive end. When they've turned Kentucky over, they just haven't been able to get anything going.
Yeah, it really looks to me that only Seward and Simmons-Kozar are comfortable with the basketball against this pressure. And And so they have to get one of them back in. And so Simmons-Kozar, despite the 3 fouls, comes back in the game. Howard resets the offense. 20 on the shot clock.
June's pretty comfortable with the ball in her hands, huh? She'll shoot. But that's really what they've needed, is somebody to pull the trigger and, and get some points on the board.
Another call off the ball, and that's Bruna Jackson, 5'5" junior. So reset of the shot clock. Boy, Howard just catches that with one hand and goes right into the dribble. You can tell she's just played a lot of basketball in her life. Very comfortable anywhere on the court, 1 through 5. Roper follows her shot, pulls down the rebound.
Well, Kentucky just continuing their assault on the glass, which they did in the first half.
It's 10 offensive rebounds.
Morehead's just getting out hustled in that sense.
And right there, she couldn't cut the angle off, did Crystal Simmons-Kozar, so she's called for the foul, and that's her 4th.
It can be so tough, too, when you're in a position like this with when you're Morehead, you're down 28. Nothing's working. Nothing's getting going for you. You've got a player like Maci Morris who's absolutely going off. It can be so deflating, and sometimes it's hard to just keep fighting, keep battling. There's such a mental aspect of that that's so tough.
Replacing number 13, Simmons-Kozar.
Another one of those transfers back in the game, Ashley Moore coming in. She's from Wabash Valley. As we said earlier, 7 transfers on this team for Greg Todd. He's trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses of these players as the season rolls on, as they get ready for OVC action. Foul there, the interior. I think it's on Roper. Man. Roper got run over twice.
She sure
Twice
did.
she hit the ground.
Well, and she look at her smile, and she said, I was in position. She's over there letting the referee know. I got up. I was in the same position. Fell down again. But that's something that, you know, this Kentucky defense, Matthew Mitchell puts a ton of emphasis on taking charges. Getting yourself in the right position, really being locked in on defense.
Kentucky with a huge lead, looking to go up 30. Bad pass, but saved by Taylor Murray. 10 on the shot clock. Want to go inside to Blair Green. Kick it off, Roper, 3. And there's the big rebound inside again by McGowan. So showing her worth, even though she's injured. But that's a deep 3.
It's just not what, that's, listen, even if you hit that and you knock, like, that's just not what Morehead needs. They're really in a position where they've got to get themselves into a very efficient offensive set, like what we saw coming out. Very first offensive set for them. They got it done.
It's the turkey.
These responses, there's Maci Morris's mom there on the left, Patty Morris. Listen, that's fantastic. I told her before the game, we talked about this, and I said, that is the best. And that ended up on USA Today. That made some national news because of those responses, which I thought were so great. But all these kids pulling these pranks on their parents, and moms just dying inside when their kids are asking this. No, you cannot
Interesting to say
microwave a 25-pound turkey. First of all,
how do you fit it in the oven?
Well, and it just didn't even dawn on them that this may be a joke, you know, like, so I think it's fantastic. What a fun thing.
Well, for those of us who aren't connected by a umbilical cord to our phones, me being one of those, you know.
It's so great. Well, and listen, how do you not love her dad's response? Who is this?
You are not my daughter.
Who is this? Oh, that's great.
You do everything else in a microwave.
Yeah. So great.
Glad they had fun with that.
But I microwave hot dogs. I don't understand.
Ooh, nice pass there by Morris to Merck. And Taylor puts it in. Cats are their biggest lead. And another almost turnover. Ryan Howard had that one in her hands, couldn't corral it though. So Maci Morris, 29 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. And
Ryan Howard getting over in rotation. Like you can tell, I just can't believe, can't get that. How do you not come up with that?
Seward fires the 3, and that's no good. Tapped away by Jada Roper, out of bounds. Jada Roper goes, what, 5'6"? McGowan in there at 6'3".
Jada Roper's got a motor. Listen, she's one of those that's going to get after it. Love that about her game.
And another unforced error there, trying to pass it over to Ashley Moore in the corner, and now off her fingertips, out of bounds it goes.
Just very indicative of how things have gone for Morehead right there, with just an offense that looks out of sorts. Just hasn't been able to get anything going. The defense hasn't been able to really lead to any good transition buckets for them.
At least they're getting a little bit better shots here in the second half. 4 of 8 here in this quarter, so 50% shooting. It's brought them up to 33% for the game. 12 of 36. Pascal in the ball game. Left-handed dribble. Don't know where she was throwing that one. To nobody.
Oh,
look at it.
Had it. Yeah.
Kept her hand on top, and that's another takeaway for Howard. Howard, the bounce pass across the lane, the trailer Murray, she can't finish. Pascal.
Amanda Pascal able to get that left-handed shot up there, but listen, June just completely out of control now. 2 straight trips.
2 straight trips, she just turned it over.
And had the left-handed layup.
Pascal, of all people, gets the rebound and is hammered again.
Well, and here's one of those situations, too, with June. Now she's pressing and trying to make something happen and really just complaining about officiating. She came back down, the last person down the floor by a good 5 seconds because she's complaining about officiating. That's one of those things where you just have to play. You cannot worry about it. It's beyond your control.
She also a transfer from Rutgers.
Junior.
Number 4, Maci Morris returns. She replaces number 24, Taylor Murray.
And it's a timeout by Greg Todd. 68-33, Kentucky shooting 54% from the field. Obviously a huge week. It is V Week. V.org/donate. Giving Tuesday yesterday, this entire week, a giving week. And the V Foundation has raised so much money. It was founded in 1993 by Jim Valvano and ESPN. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Who could forget those famous words? The slogan for the V Foundation. And again, they've raised over $100 million for cancer research, all types of cancer. Amazing, amazing foundation. If you ever get a chance, Christy, to go to South Carolina to the golf tournament, the V Foundation golf tournament is unbelievable, to say the least.
I'm so taken by how athletics can really tie into something like this and be such a huge movement. We all love sports for so many different reasons, but that's another big one.
Oh, beautiful pass inside, and Green finally picks up a bucket. Give her 6 now on the game.
Green finally rewarded.
Yes,
for
there you go,
cutting.
rewarded.
She has been so active on offense, cutting through the lane several times. Her teammates have missed her.
Cats with 2 minutes to go here. On pace to get about 92, 93 points. Boy, she's got great hands, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
Boy, this is just a beautiful feed inside.
It's a great feed, great look by Jada Roper, but there you see Blair Green has been doing that all game. She has been cutting across the lane with her defender on her back. Finally gets rewarded.
The 2 freshmen, Green there, Howard here at the free throw line. Boy, the next 3 years with those two are going to be something else. Those are two building blocks.
No question. Ryan Howard's the type of player that's just an absolute program changer.
Yes. I mean, you hate comparing, but she could play at Notre Dame. She could play at Connecticut. That's good in a lot of these, but I mean, she could start. She's that
absolutely.
Good.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't mean to knock any of the other players on this team, but she is we're talking
special,
Valerie Still type player here.
Yeah, she's a special player that, and literally, like I say, we've seen spots and places where her game can get better.
Sure.
Where she can improve. So
easiest shot of the night for Morris, and she misses it. A little 8-footer from the baseline. Zan Crockett, a little bit of an off night. She only has 9. She averages 21. As I say that, she fires up a shot that misses everything. Over the top it goes, and we're going to get Blair Green with the foul there.
Foul is number 5, Blair Green, her second, 17 third.
So it'll be Eagle basketball under the basket. Fresh shot clock after the foul. Here's June. June drives baseline. She's fouled by Morris. 4-team foul, so one more and they will shoot. So they'll get this under the basket with another fresh shot clock. And yet another foul on Kentucky, and Blair Green says, "What did I do?" And we say, "What did she do?"
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
McGowan at the line for 2.
Lefty gets an unkind roll. McGowan 2 points, but 8 rebounds in the game. Boy, Blair Green, head of everybody. Howard 3, no good. Look at that. What a great positioning by Taylor Murray into the basket.
Only 5'6".
No block out.
Well, and that's something that Taylor Murray has done her entire career here at Kentucky, is get to the rim and be able to rebound. She's great jumping ability, but she also has a nose for the ball. She doesn't care to get in there and get in the mix. So there have been multiple games, more games than I can count, that I have seen her come out with a huge rebound and think, how in the world?
Maci wanted that one. A lot of people have said not a good shot, but not Matthew Morris. He says, yeah, go ahead, kid. You got 30, 29. 20 on the shot clock. The Green beats everybody down the court, not rewarded again.
You just keep doing it. When you're the freshman, you just keep doing it. You keep showing yourself open. Just get after it.
Maci misses right at the buzzer, so she was so hot earlier and misses her last couple of shots, but Kentucky, a huge lead, 74-35.
In this tournament, volleyball going to host Murray State in round 1 of the NCAA championship. That too happening here in Lexington. So yeah, just 2 additional teams in this athletic department that have had really sensational seasons. This men's soccer team, don't sleep on them now. They may very well end up in the College Cup in that Final Four.
Have the player of the year too.
That's right, and just a junior.
He's really good. First he goes all the way and then kicks it off at the last second, and Crockett can't hit, but rebounded, put back up and in by Jaleesa Avery. Avery with her second bucket of the game. Nice step in right there by Simmons Kozar, and I think Blair Green got that ball and she said, you know what, no one's going to pass it to me, I'm just going to try and score myself.
Well, just one too many dribbles.
Yep.
Yeah, she can knock down that mid-range jumper as well too, so she knew it. She knew it, just one too many dribbles. Dribble or two, stop and pop that jumper.
So Cameron Roach enters the game for the Cats. As Maci Morris goes out. That's a tough shot over Howard. Good rebound inside by Calvert. She's fouled underneath by Roper. Howard again. Up to Murray. 3-on-1. Green. Ooh, nice block.
Well, it all got started on the defensive end with Ryan Howard just making a great play and saving the ball inbounds to her teammate. Again, every time she touches the ball, everything she does is so athletic. It's just next level.
Green hits, player from Harlan. 26 points she averaged in high school, senior year. Freshman. Nice player. Call that one on Roach on the sideline as she was trying to steal it away from Simmons Kozar, who was getting that pass.
No foul there. They just called it out of bounds, yeah. Nice back door.
Very nice cut. And nice body control by Mackenzie Calvert, too. She's also a transfer. Texas Tech. She's actually a grad student. One of the 7 transfers on this Morehead team. Blair Green goes a left hand, spins back to the right. Just can't get it to go. That was a couple of nice moves by her. Calvert lays it up and in again.
On a couple really nice trips here from Morehead, showing that they really can settle in and make some good things happen. Make some smarter plays. Yep. We've seen him get on the offensive glass for a couple of trips here.
It's 12 offense. That's actually the 13th offensive rebound by Morehead. That's one more than Kentucky. So a mini burst here has got up to 7. Carolina.
Busy
Murray
December.
State, yeah.
Big one at number 5, Louisville, the Yum Center. It's always a big game. Get that rivalry going. Never know what can happen. Doesn't matter whether it's here or there. It's always a great environment.
So you actually will not be here.
I will not. No, I will not.
Ooh, Kentucky's had a little lull here. Howard throws that one away. Again, it's got to be tough, Chris, when you're winning by such a huge margin to kind of, stay sharp. And that's what, Matthew Mitchell really can't holler too much at him, but as a player, you just relax a little bit when you're up 30. Well,
you do, and you don't. Well, you want him to continue to have that sense of urgency, and that is tough. You're exactly right. But this is where you start to develop that mental toughness, and you have to play through it. Even when you're tired, you consider that trip to the Virgin Islands was, a good one, but you played 3 games in 3 days. You had lots of activities, Thanksgiving, holiday, along with the travel. You got to get back and get your legs back under you, and then, you know this is a game that you should win by a large margin. However, you just have to have some real mental toughness that you can stay and consistently play at a high level from start to finish.
Oh, nice play by Howard from behind. As Crockett was going up, she got a step, got to the baseline, and she hammered it from behind out of bounds. It's a second block for Howard on the night.
Lazy pass.
Howard sees the defense behind her. Pulls it out. Here's Morris. Nice pass inside to Howard and one. Beautiful pass by Morris to Howard. Third assist of the game for Maci Morris.
Take another look at this. Maci Morris, eyes up. Howard, again, scoring in a lot of different ways, showing you a lot of different looks. She did this at the Paradise Jam.
Oh, just rolls off. That's Seward in the corner. They don't get it to him. Ozark can't get it to fall off the hands of Roper, but they're going to say last touch there by Crockett under the basket. Maci Morris leads all scorers. 29 points this year. It's hounded there at midcourt by Seward. It's a little one-on-one again, and I think all goes out of bounds. It will stay with Kentucky. Kentucky just kind of sleepwalking a little bit right now, aren't they?
Yeah, just, you know, kind of got a little bit lackadaisical on the offensive end. Yep.
Step back by Morris and give her 31 now.
She missed a couple of threes. It looked like maybe she was kind of cooling off a little bit, but
wow.
Taylor Murray.
Just amazing how quick her hands are.
Oh, she's something else now, I'll tell you what.
Maci lost an assist there as they missed a little easy shot. Oh, look at this passing. Wide open Roper, three, no good. But I tell you what, that was about 6 passes there where any one of them could have taken a shot.
Yeah, that was an interesting, you know, that's kind of the tale of two halves, because in the first half, Kentucky was hot, so
everybody wanted to shoot.
Everybody wanted to shoot, and those shots are going down. Everybody's trying to be unselfish and pass. You can appreciate that to some level here.
Kentucky has 12 assists in the game. And 28 shots. Played almost 5.5 minutes of basketball here, and they're just 2 of 6 in this game. Another steal by the Cats. Knock it away. Maci kind of looks like a boxer in about the 10th round. Just worn out. Yeah. I mean, she's played a lot. She's taken a lot of shots. She's got 31 points. All these girls have. You know, it was, as you said, a long trip. 3 games in 3 days. Howard muscles it in.
It was a great take by Ryan Howard. She's got such great size down there, so to get down there in a mismatch situation. Nice job by Morehead to catch Kentucky snoozing a little bit. I love her down there on the block. You get some contact. She initiated the contact by design to be able to play through it.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot to like if you're Matthew Mitchell, but there's also a lot that you can show on tape.
That's by design, so that she can then power that ball up and get it to go in with that left hand. That's hard to defend.
I think what Matthew's more upset about there was just the lazy pass inbounds with the steal. He's like, look, I don't care. You know, if you're playing hard and they get a steal, that's one thing, but to just give them one and give them 2 points. So Housel now in the field, on the court for the Cats.
Yeah, why would you make it that easy when you get into the SEC and you're playing some really stiff, tough competition? Some of the best teams in the country, you cannot have trips off. You cannot have mental lapses like that. But again, some of these are just freshman mistakes. They're younger kids that are learning. Now's the environment to be able to do that.
So the 6-foot senior for Bowling Green, Lachey Housel, there's 0 in the game for the Cats. Also Roach out front, guarding Simmons Carter. And again, there's 12 on the shot clock before the Eagles ever even penetrate the 3-point line. It's amazing.
Well, and we've seen that the entire game, that they've really struggled to get into their offense and get something going and give themselves an opportunity, really, to be able to get on the offensive glass. We've seen them have some success with that.
Aaliyah June, transfer from Rutgers, averages 20 points a game. She's got 11. make it 12. Seward comes out, get back in the game, give him a little size on the defensive side. Full court pressure. Again, they love to press, they love to create turnovers, but you've got to score to do that. And now they get another turnover. A bad pass. June drops it off inside, and again, you just see she doesn't have any explosion off that ankle.
No explosion, yep. Just got no lift. She's 6'3", so got some great size in there. But so what we don't know about that injury then is that a pain issue, or is that still a kind of a mental issue, something that she's working through to try to get back in that spot?
Roach short on that jumper. Howard comes flying in. Gets the rebound and the foul, and she'll go to the free throw line. Howard has 16 points. Kentucky 4 scores in double figures.
Roach with a nice shot, but this is where now you're seeing Morehead get a little lazy, just not finding anybody to box out. Ryan Howard crashing the glass.
9 rebounds for Howard, as you said. 17 points. So 1 rebound away from a double-double. Love to get that on a resume. Another straight line drive by June to the basket, lays it in.
Great crossover.
Yep. So 3.5 to go. Taylor Murray pounds it out front. Dumps that down to Green, taken away by Crockett, but they're going to say she held. So Kentucky will get it out under again.
That's a tough call on Crockett there.
Yeah, I thought she made a nice move, just slipped right through the screen. And spinning down to the 3-minute mark, Kentucky has controlled Morehead from start to finish. The one thing Kentucky wanted to do in this game was get a little quicker start, and they were able to do that in that first quarter.
Boy, they sure did. That started off with Maci Morris driving to the basket. They didn't settle for any outside jump shots. Really efficient on the offensive end.
But Green just can't buy a shot. She's such a good shooter. Off of her foot. They're going to call a hold on Roach. It's a nice play by Simmons Kozar to knock that away, and Roach kind of impeded her with her forearm.
I've been impressed with Morehead in their on-ball defense. It's really looked good. They've had a hand in on several different plays, different exchanges. Taking the ball away a couple of times.
Another baseline drive by June is short. Green with yet another rebound. Here come the Cats. Kentucky has just a 5-rebound advantage, 39-34 on the boards. So this defense of Morehead's has been causing 26.7 turnovers a game. And there is another turnover for the Cats, so that gives them 17. Boy, just Kentucky has hands everywhere. You just cannot get a pass on the interior without somebody from the Cats knocking it. Roach can't score again. Here comes June.
Good outlet.
Calvert beats the defense down the court.
Well, I think you'll see Morehead State have a lot of success with that right there in the OVC. I think as athletic as they are, and their schedule really is interesting. They're on the road for 3 games in December, only 2 at home, and then they open up OVC play with 4 straight games on the road, 4 straight games back home.
Interesting schedule.
It sure is.
Man. Roper just pounding the basketball out front. As you said, a lot of dribbling and not a lot of passing.
Great on-ball defense. You got to credit Seward for some really good on-ball defense.
I say Seward got her. She drove to the basket. But you got to kick that ball to the corners. Do something. Just dribbling. So Roper to the free throw line. Roper, nice game for her. She's got 10 points. Now 7 of 7 from the free throw line.
Good showing for her at the Paradise Jam as well. She knocked down some big shots in that tournament.
Well, she's played the 5th most minutes today. Wyatt's still kind of nursing. Man, cut the ball off there.
Well, but I think that shows you, too, just how athletic June is. And we've seen her take some really ill-advised shots. So I think if she could sort of rein that in a little bit, play within herself and play within the offense, she really brings much more to the table for this team.
It's a short 3. And you can see where the legs are just starting to leave the Cats a little bit from all these games as Maci Morris has been short. Ryan Howard way short on that 3 as well. So Maci's going to finish with 31 points on the night. 4 of 8 from the 3-point line. 4 rebounds in 25 minutes.
Well, I think that's it's a remarkable stat line in and of itself, but then to only have played really 25 minutes, you know, I think you would see that from a player that's played more like 34, 35, 36 minutes. So that's with her spending a good bit of time on the bench.
So inside a minute now to play. Fires a 3, which is hard. Here comes Howard. Splits defenders. 3-on-1 break. Here's Roach. 12-footer. No good. Rebound battled for. They'll call a jump ball. It'll be Morehead's basketball.
For the Eagle, number 14, Moore returns. She replaces number 0, June.
So June will head to the bench. 15 points and 6 of 17 shooting. 4 rebounds for her as well. She's got 6 turnovers. Again, Kentucky forces 25 turnovers so far in this game as we spin down to 20 seconds. Nice little stop and pop there by Crockett. So Kentucky can hold the ball now. I'd like to see it get up to Housel and her get a shot off. I think they're just going to hold it out front if Morehead allows Roper to just stand there. So Kentucky wins it by 30. And they're, oh, no.
5-second violation, Morehead ball.
They call a 5-second violation on Jada Roper as they're trying to run the clock out.
He said, Matthew said, don't worry about it, Jada. Just don't worry about it. Like, what she said.
Matthew says, come on, really? Well, how about, I shouldn't say a coming out party, but Maci Morris was just remarkable.
Yeah, she was